Hey guys, and welcome to week number 11 in the habit course. Here is the next three things I want you guys to focus on this week. We're going to go ahead and ramp it up a little bit, but also, guys, just keep in mind the tracking is not necessarily required. But in terms of the course, all I'm trying to do is force you guys to step out of your comfort zone to try to practice MyFitnessPal as a tool to go ahead and help you in social settings and just planning in advance to try to fall under your calorie budget. Again, I don't necessarily require tracking by any means, and I really do think that the plating system in the meal prep system that I'm teaching you guys will really just cover the habits in a less overwhelming approach. But in this case, I'm going to show you guys anyways. Okay, so first thing I want you guys to focus on this week is go ahead and do 15 to 20 minute cardio sessions. Okay, this can include walking. It doesn't necessarily need to be the elliptical, the treadmill, or a bike or whatever. This could be outside. This could be outdoors. If you're not someone that wants to go to the gym, that's totally okay. If you want to go to the gym, that's fine. If you have home equipment, great. You're just going to go ahead and do 15 to 20 minute sessions 3 times this week. Number two, we're going to go ahead and track, 3 days in MyFitnessPal. What I want to show you guys, when using MyFitnessPal, not all the time will there be an exact food. Let's say you're going to track an omelet for breakfast. Okay, this is a food logging system, so it's going to give you the options to track for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, protein shakes, and it's going to compile the amount of calories that you have in a day. The reason why this is important is because when talking about weight loss, we need to stay in a calorie deficit. And this is a sure way to make sure we're in a calorie deficit. However, it's too overwhelming, and that's why I don't necessarily like it as much. But utilizing the recipe tab in MyFitnessPal is a very easy way to make sure that when tracking calories, it's very accurate. Because when typing in an egg white omelet, you're not necessarily going to get the exact ingredients you're making the omelet with. And so this is only going to ever take one time. So this is what I like to do for planning in MyFitnessPal, is you're going to use the recipe tab. So go to my recipes here. You're going to see that I created all these, for an example. And if I were to click on one of them, it's going to break down the ingredients that just compiles to get the amount of calories. And that's all we care about, So you're going to do the same thing. Let's say you're tracking an omelet for breakfast. You can go ahead and type in omelet. And then what you're going to go ahead and do is you can start adding the ingredients. And when you add the ingredients, it's then going to compile the total calories, carbs, fat, protein, sodium, and sugar, which is very valuable to know. But once you track it once, you actually then don't actually have to take out your phone throughout the week. And again, when talking about social settings, then I think this is a really valuable tool that you can use, So it's very simple. You can go ahead and track your ingredients. So if you type in egg whites, you can use the barcode scanner for an easier way, or you can go ahead and search egg whites. And when going ahead and searching egg whites, you're then going to go ahead and do how many servings. Typically for an omelet, you're going to do obviously more than one serving. So let's say you're doing 3 servings of egg whites. You can go ahead and choose the measurement, whether you're using a food scale or not. You can use cups or tablespoons, or you can go ahead and put a bowl and zero out the scale and just fill up the egg whites to meet the certain amount of grams of the food label. Again, this is why this is super confusing and overwhelming, and a plating system and utilizing your hands as visuals for portion sizes will really do for a lot of people, but this is just, again, a more advanced approach. So let's say that you're doing a cup. So if it's 3 servings, that means that's 3 cups of egg whites. If you're doing grams or tablespoons, right, that means it's 3 tablespoons. Again, if you're doing grams, that would only mean that it's 3 grams. And if you were to have like 50 grams of egg whites, that would be 50 servings. So it requires a little bit of math, but don't get overwhelmed, So let's go ahead and just do a cup. And let's say that we just do 2 cups egg whites. We're going to add that, and then you're going to see that it compiles the calories. And then whatever vegetables you're choosing in your omelet, you can go ahead and do the same thing. So let's just say, green bell pepper, and that'll search, and you're going to obviously then get green peppers. And again, you can measure in grams, or you guys can, do cups or anything like that. So that'd be 5 grams. Let's say that we had, 3 servings, which would be what? It'd be 15 grams, right? Which is probably more realistic. Then it compiles the calories. You do onions, you do ham, whatever you add in, Then all you do, guys, is you're going to go ahead and press save recipe, and then it's going to compile the amount of calories. And then when tracking food, you can then go back to your food diary, right, and add a breakfast. And then you can go to your recipes here, okay, and then you can go ahead and plug in whatever breakfast you had. So let's say it's just a smoothie, okay, add the checks, and then boom, you're logging your breakfast. And you can do the same thing for lunch recipe, dinner recipe, snacks, or simple. It's going to compile a food history list. And so this makes tracking a lot easier. And what I tell people is you can absolutely just go ahead and plan this out. And you can do this for a whole entire week in advance because you are only tracking recipes that you had sacrificed initial time to create, but then you never actually have to utilize the app and plug in individual ingredients during your day ever again. So that's what I tell people to do for MyFitnessPal. Okay, so that's the second thing. And the third thing, guys, pretty simple. All you're going to do is you're going to practice mindful eating. Okay, mindful eating is basically just being conscious of what's going in your mouth, not being an asshole, not being stupid, right? Not necessarily going out to McDonald's or anything like that, but just being mindful of that, right? Just being mindful of how it feels when having certain foods at McDonald's or Arby's or wherever you're going. Just being mindful, like ask yourself questions, like how you're feeling, like do you actually feel more energy? Do you feel guilty? Things like this. Just get a better understanding of your relationship with food. That's called mindful eating. So I'm going to challenge you guys to be more conscious of that, okay, in week number 11.